Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. If you're first time visiting, I do macrame tutorials. In this video, I have a special presentation. I'm doing another tube style necklace. It is again in black and red, but it's because I have a different pendant that I previously made that I want to do the necklace for, and I thought I would record it because I'm going to start it in a different way and do different design elements throughout it. So I thought, why not just film it and make a new video, and that way you guys can see a new way to start it and, you know, just some different design elements. So I am still using the same amount of cords as in the last video if you watched it. 16 black cords, 16 red cords, and then you'll need extra strings for wrapping the middle section. And so yeah, hopefully you enjoy the video. So here I am just showing you the pendant that I made before I made the one I've filmed, because I was planning on doing two red and black, one with black and red, black on top, red on bottom, one with red on top, black on bottom. All right, so there you can see there are 16 black cords, 4 in each. The middle section I had just shown had also 16 cords in the middle. This is the pendant that I filmed previously. Just wanted to show you the difference of what they look like and why this new tube is gonna be different. Okay, thanks. Okay, so what you're gonna start off doing is you know, you're gonna be working in the 4 sections again. Take 2 strings and do double knot tying them together. You'll have to bear with me, my strings are really long. Like, I didn't even measure them, I just cut them like so freaking long. So it'll take a minute to get through this. Okay, then so that was one holding cord, and then I knotted another cord on top of it. Then I'll take a second cord and do a double knot. You just have to keep pulling and pulling and pulling when you're using really, really long cords. And I had to, throughout this entire filming process, there are a lot of parts that I had to pause the video because they get tangled very easily. That's a kind of a thing you're gonna have to work on, and you know, you'll have to detangle. Okay, so then you take the 4th cord and make a second row and do double knots with the 2 strings that are hanging down like that we did our double knots. So you're going to wind up with 2 rows these are like opening knots, right? See how they can get tangled. Okay, and we're going to do that for all 4 sections. Each section has 4 cords once again. So you just take 2, do a double knot. And then take the 4th cord and make a second row. It doesn't really matter which strings you use, like, you know, they don't have to be particular strings when you're just starting this very first part. We're just making 2 rows in each 4 sections, and then we're gonna tie them together, still flat on the board, before we flip it upside down and turn it into a tube. I mentioned I'm gonna be doing things differently this time for this tube, so you can see how you can start this thing without having to start it with beads. I know some people might not be interested in that, so this is just another way. Also, I'm going to insert the middle part before I close my tube up. That's why I have it already done. It was just a matter of, you know, I had my 16 really long red cords. I tied a huge knot in the middle, and then I wrapped it with extra black cord to create that middle part. If you don't know how to do that, it would have been in a previous video. I just didn't really want to film that part for this. You just do like what I referred to before as the frame knot around those 16 red cords with a separate cord, and in the middle, because everything you do, you're going to want to do like one half first, then the second half. So like everything's done from the middle. I'm starting in the middle, I'll work my way down, and then at some point I'll untie all the knots on the other half, the other side, and do the same thing in the other direction. Just once you flip it around, it's all the same, but because these cords are so long, and also for symmetry, and you want to make sure that your cords are all the same length. Okay, so I'm coming to the 4th one that I'm doing 2 rows with double knots, 2 holding strings, 2 knotting strings, okay. So now this is what we have. Now we're gonna start from the left, or at least I do. It doesn't really matter. I'm gonna take those 2 strings and knot onto the 2 strings coming that were my previous holding strings. So they're still holding strings. But to put all this together to form one thing, see, there's my knotting up going on there. So 1 and 2. Second cord that was coming down. And then this is the second row cord from the very left one that we did. So now you'll have, well, after you finish knotting both cords, you'll have 4 strings coming off from the very left. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh my goodness, I kept saying left. I really mean right. Okay, so then I'm gonna do the same thing with the next one over. Just take the 2 top cords, leave the 2 bottom ones. We connected the first from the right to the second. Now we're connecting the second to the third, and then we'll connect the third to the fourth. But just do 2 strings at a time so you don't get confused when you roll it over to make the tube. This would be the second one from the third one from the right. Okay, and we're going to leave it like that. And then now we're going to connect that third one from the right to the last one. I hope you were able to see how I connected these all 4 together. Okay. That's my cat scratching the carpet. I don't know if you can hear it. Yeah. All right, so then that's what it should look like. You have 2 strings on the right and 2 strings on the left. Those will be connected in the same way, but first we need to flip this upside down. I'm just showing in more up close view. Flip it around upside down. Okay, straighten everything up. Now I'm gonna grab the middle piece that I already wrapped. Sorry, I think I was messing around with the cords. Like I said, they're very long, so I'm showing you like how I wrapped it. It's just a frame knot, back and forth knot. You just place it right in there like that, and then pin it down to your board. Because they were so long, I knotted each 4 cords together, then made a bigger knot on top of that, which I'll have to undo later, but it was just like the cords were so long that it was giving me a hard time. So okay, so then you take those 4 cords and you knot in the same way that you did before. It's like 2 rows. Start with hold 1 from the right and take 1 from the left, then the second one from the left, and knot onto that first holding cord. Double knots always. And then now that's the second holding cord, and you just make double knots with those 2 cords. And this is how you can start a tube. going, you know, it's going in like a diagonal. That's really the only way you can do it. Well, this is how I'm doing it. Like, there are other ways you can do it. Obviously, you guys watch probably other tutorials on this kind of thing. But anyways, so that's what it will look like. I'm gonna unpin it and show you guys what it looks like all around. And then do a row or two. I think I'm gonna speed it up a bit in a couple sections because these videos get to be quite long and you might not need to. But anyway, so this is what it looks like. That middle piece will be a little loose for now. What I did later is I untied the knots that I had and then tied one knot at the top so that it wouldn't slide. I tied the black cords to the red cords so it wouldn't slide. But it's fine as long as like your top red knot is in line with the black knots, indicating that that's the middle of your whole project. It'll be all right. Okay, so yeah, so I sped up the video just a little bit, and we're just gonna keep going around like this in the same way. If you keep your strings like 4 by 4, 2 holding cords, 2 knotting cords, and then set them off to the side, you won't ever lose your place or get confused about like what you just did. And you can always have like a point of, you know, like if you wanted to switch something up or do something different, which I'm going to show you later on in this video. I do this for, instead of counting rows, I decided to measure. I'm going to do this for 3 centimeters long, and then I'm going to switch the direction going the opposite way of what we're doing now. And then I'll do that for 3 centimeters, and then I'm going to do little boxes. And I did something there that I think will be very helpful by counting how many not rows, but like sets of 4 I did going around. So like, for example, what I'm doing right now, I did 1, and I would still count this as 1. So every 4 cords that you knot and you set aside, that will be 1. And then when you're done with all 4 sections, the next would be to do 4, which is actually 16 cords. Go down, that's another section. Anyways, you'll see what I'm actually talking about later on in the video. It's so much easier to show than to explain. So I'm just knotting. Keep your strings 2 by 2 or 4 by 4. I say 4 by 4 because I mean 4 cords per section. Since you have 16 cords, you can divide them into sections of 4, which is 4. So you see I have those ones off to the left. Those are the ones I've already done, so I don't get confused. And now this would be the last one. So in my world, I would have called this the number 1 after the beginning. But I didn't really keep count. I decided to do a measuring tape instead, just to show you guys that like it doesn't have to be exact and perfect. You can just like sort of measure it, eyeball it, and you'll get the same results. Almost impossible to notice. Okay, so that's what we've got now. See, this is me showing you now that I knotted for about 3 centimeters. Make sure you put your starting point under your knots that are holding your strings together. 1, 2, 3. And now I'm going to switch and go the opposite direction. So if we were knotting from right to left, during the top part. Now we're going to knot from left to right. So you take the first string and knot 2, then the second one and knot the 2. It's almost the same thing. It actually is the same thing. You're just doing it. Oh, I forgot. I didn't do a double knot on that top one, so I had to go back. Anyways, you're doing the same thing just now in the opposite direction. Same strings. I didn't transition any strings or trade any strings. I just simply changed the direction. We're just going to go around like this for a bit. I only use 1 pin because I don't like unpinning 2 pins when I have to keep making so many rotations. I would rather deal with it popping loose on me and just pinning it once than having to pin twice. But if you don't like that, you can put like 2 pins so it's more secure. But every time you have to pick up your project and rotate it, you'll be removing and pinning 2 pins. And because of that middle section, sometimes it's hard to find a good spot to pin in. Sometimes it's a little tough, so just be wary, be warned of that. Alright, so hopefully you're seeing how I just changed the direction of the way that we're doing the tube. First we went from right to left, now we're going from left to right. And if you are doing a necklace, you need super long strings. In the previous video, I measured like 360 centimeter long strings. These are approximately the same length. They could be a little longer. I just, I have a habit of not measuring my strings. So I just, you know, oh, this looks long enough, and I just make a cut, and that's that. It usually winds up being like too much, but I'd rather have too much than not enough. That's just me. I know that leftover cords for me eventually will get used in something, unless they're really way too short and I just toss them. But yeah, I don't like having to add strings where I don't have to. I would rather deal with strings that are long. It can be annoying and tedious, you know. Like I said, the strings get knotted at the end. You have to sort of pick the whole thing up and detangle, but in my mind, that's just part of the process. All right, so now that's the first row we did, going in the opposite direction from left to right. I think I'm just going to show you one more row. Oh, this little, yeah, I'm just going to show you one more row just so that you can see, you know, it forming the same straight lines as what you have just done on the top. And then I'm going to do like, it's pretty much the same thing, but like smaller sections. They're going to be like these small little boxes that go in opposite directions. And again, that's just another like design element to make it a little more interesting looking. So it's not just this plain rope looking tube. It's going to have different elements where it's going back and forth different directions. Yeah, okay, so you see at the top there, somewhere off camera, I knotted the red and the black strings together, except for the 4 individual knots holding the black cords, because it was just kind of getting in my way. And then I took all of those cords and tied a bigger knot that's off the screen right now, so that they're not hanging on the ground and they can just move with me with my project as I keep rotating and going around in circles. Okay. A lot of this was shown if you did watch the previous tube video, making this rope looking section. I called it sort of like a spiral, but there are other knotting things called spirals, so that can get confusing. So what we're making is a spiral tube, or yeah, a rope tube that is going in a slanted direction. Yeah, maybe. How would you guys call it? I would really love to hear from some of you guys. Nobody's commented on any of my videos. I've gotten quite a number of views and likes, but no comments. If you know, like, things that I say that seem wrong, like I'm calling out a not wrong, or you think you have a better way to describe something that I'm doing, I would really love to hear it. Like, don't be afraid. All right, so the centimeters was to just show you what I'm doing. Okay, so now you see those two little sections? I did those beforehand, but I'm going to show you how to do it now. So I have the first part that's 3 centimeters, the second part that's 3 centimeters, and now I'm going to show you how you can do these smaller section boxes. And I was trying to explain before about doing this count thing that I do. So I'm going to try to explain it if I can. So this will be row, how should I call it? Part 1 in going 4 by 4. So first we have to knot all 4 sides, all 16 cords. And you keep track of it by, so, sorry, this is confusing to try to describe. All right, so I'm just gonna watch this video and try to go along with it rather than, all right, so that's the first set in part 1, okay? Let's call it this. Now I'm gonna do the second part in second set in part 1. We're still in 1, okay? You have to do all 4 sides and count it as 1. Sorry, something, I think I bumped my camera or something. All right, so you can see off to the left, I did 1 set of 4. This is the second set of 4. Okay. Now we move on to the third set. Yeah, like I said, it's really nothing different. It's just that we're keeping track of how many we're going to do so that your littler boxes are the same. This will be number 3. Sorry, it is kind of slow, but it's a little bit slower going when you're working with really long chords. It's kind of why I did those two above first, so I could just get my strings a little bit shorter, so it'd be a little bit easier to film, but you're still like pulling long chords. All right, so that was 3. And now the 4th. And after this 4th one is done, I call that the first part, right? Like, so we're gonna do that 4 times. Not each 4 sections all the way around. That's 1. Then in the next section, oh god, I can't keep track of what I'm saying. It will be 2, and then the next will be 3, and then the next will be 4. So every time you complete all 4 sides is 1, and the next time you complete all 4 sides it's 2, the next time you complete all 4 sides it's 3, the next time you complete all 4 sides it's 4, and you just keep going like that. And then we end at 4, and then we switch and go back the opposite direction, and that makes those 2 boxes identical in size and length from each other. So that's 1. Okay, see, now the next, I put my little finger there to show that that was 1. Now we're doing 2. And I sped it up a bit because, you know, it is redundant. So this is the first set of 4 in part 2, in section 2. In the second, that. Okay, that was 1. Now we're in 2 of 2. Let's say 2.2. Now 3.2. 3.2. 3, number 3 in part 2, section 2. Whatever 2. 3.2. My cat is staring at me. My cat drinks water out of a water cap, and she needs me to pour it for her, and she just will sit there and stare at me until I do so. It's the cutest thing. You should find me on TikTok. My very first video shows a video of that. My cat drinking water from a water bottle cap. It's the cutest dang thing, and you can actually hear like the gulping sounds that cats make when they drink water. But she must drink water from my hands. She will drink the water, obviously I leave water for her on the counter next to her food, but and she will drink that when I'm sleeping and stuff. But during the day, if I'm awake, it's me feeding her, watering my cat. I call it watering my cat. All right, so that was 4.2. Okay, now that's done. So now we're moving on to the 3rd. So this is 1.3. First of 4 in the 3rd now section. And it looks just like the one where the pin is actually at this very moment. Okay, 1.3, done. Now move on to 2.3. Okay, now we're in 3.3, third set of chords in the third section, third row. Okay, that was 3, and now 4. 4.3. Alright, so now we're into the fourth. So this would be 1.4. Alright, and now we're into 2.4. I really hope that this makes sense to you guys. How I'm keeping track of what I'm doing. But in the next part, when I go the opposite direction, I actually figured out I marked what I'm doing with pins on the board. I wish I had thought about it in this part, but I thought about it later anyways. Usually I do this stuff in my head, keep track of what I'm doing in my head. But if you're like a busy person and you got like things going on and you have to keep picking up and setting down your macrame projects throughout the day, a way to keep track for you will be how I show you in the next, when I start the next part, where I'm gonna show you like so now we're doing 4.4. So I'll use a pin and mark 1 for the first go around, 2 for the second go around, 3 for the third, and 4th for the fourth. And that's that. But you know, as always, I try to tell you guys, like, these are all just design choices on my part. You can do it even shorter. Like, you can only do like, instead of 4, like a 4 sort of rows, you can do 2 and make the boxes even smaller. And that just all that requires for you to do is to just you know, move your strings from, you know, right now we're doing right to left, and the next part is left to right, and you can just keep going back and forth, and you can do the whole thing in little boxes if you wanted to. I know, like, at some point I am gonna switch to doing a red part where I take the red chords from the middle and do something with that. I'm not sure yet though. See how you see like 1 and that one are the same, and the one in the middle is going the opposite direction. 1, 2, now we're going to do the same thing going the opposite direction to create our fourth little box. So again, we are doing 1 of 1, starting over in the opposite direction, going from left to right. I don't know if I chose not to speed this part of the video up or if I just overlooked it. I guess it's fine, you know. You guys can see exactly what's going on. So that's 1 of 1, going in the opposite direction. Make sure you put those quartz off to the side. My cat wants on my lap. Okay, there you go. Okay, and we just keep going. We're still in 1, but this is 2-1 now. Stop it, I'm not giving you water. Stop it. I'm busy. Yeah, I talk to my cat like she's a person, okay? Really though, you should go to my TikTok and see that video. I'm sure it'll make you smile. It's actually super relaxing. I love, does she takes water from my hands, you know? It's like really, really cool. I've had people tell me that their cats do that too, but I haven't really seen very many videos of it. All right, so that was 2 of 1. And we're still doing, you know, the first part of our little box going in the opposite way from what we had just done. And as you can see, it just gives a little bit more visual interest when you make boxes going in zigzagging directions. If you're doing a project that has a lot of different colors, there's a guy that does these things, I think it's Peruvian knots, something like that, macrame. He likes to do these tubes a lot, and he uses lots of fun colors, and he does a lot of like patterns that are different, like boxes going different directions and stuff like that, and they're clear, easy to see because of the color. Now she keeps walking back and forth across me because she's getting really mad that I'm not paying attention to her. So that was 3 of 1. This will be the 4th one of the first new box going in the other way. Sorry. That's my water bottle. Maybe you can hear. Alright, so that was the 4 of 1 That's my cat drinking water. Just showing you what I'm doing, what I've done. 1, 2, 3, working on the 4th box. So this is the second section. Now we're doing like 1.2 as I was calling it out before. And I did speed up this part of the video because it's just doing the same thing. 2 holding cords, 2 knotting cords, 2 rows. Then you set them off to the side, rotate it, and do the next part. So that's 1.2. Now this will be 2.2. See, now I'm adding pins showing that I'm in the second part. I wish I had thought about that earlier, even in the previous videos. So you can keep track of like how many rows you're doing. If you know how many you want to do ahead of time, you can keep track. So now this will be 3.2. Sorry for popping out my thing, kind of creating a little mess there, but I know where my cords are and where they're supposed to be, so it's all right. All right, that was 3, 2. Now 4th, 4, 2. All right, now we're in 3. See, I put 3 little pins there so I knew what I was doing. And when I'm done with the 4th set, I'll be done with the 3rd part. So this is 1, 3. See how fast I untangled that? Not in reality. This video is sped up times 2. All right, that was 1, 3. And we're doing 2, 3. And because this video is running a little long, I was gonna just keep going with this video and showing you the whole thing, but I think that would wind up being like 2 hours long. So I'm gonna, upload this and then film whatever it is I decide to do next. After this tube, though, I'm gonna start something brand new. I will be done with the pendant that like I said, I made that other red and black pendant before I shot and filmed the pendant that we all did together. And I just wanted to get the necklace made for it. So I have actually 2 other pendants I made a long time ago. Not a long time ago, like just earlier in later in 2024 that I just never got around to putting on Etsy. You know, like going outside or whatever, however I take good photos and small little videos to do Etsy listings. Just, I have so many on there that I just waited for it. It was not in a hurry to get them up, I guess. But after this is done, I think I'll take a break, put everything I have online in my Etsy shop, and then start a brand new tutorial project. I think that's what I should do. That's what I need to do. So I'll have like 4 new pendants up and a mandala bag that I made. I actually have one big one and one small one micro macrame and one not micro macrame. Like my mother-in-law had these 3mm cords that I made a mandala bag. Okay, I'm in the 4th section now. So this is 4-1. And I have just this other just simple mandala that I did that it's in rainbow color. Actually, I have 2 of them. They're in rainbow colors, and I just made them like hanging. Right now they're just hanging on my wall. I think I might list them because I think they're fun to look at. You can hang them on your wall. I have one hanging on the rear view mirror in my car, which is really cool. It looks really pretty there. That one's like in different blue colors, blue ombre color. And you know, like just I have so many projects that I can do and want to do, and I think from now on I'm just gonna film new projects and turn them into tutorials. I don't see why not. But if there's anything you guys want specifically, like to know how to do, done in the, you know, you've seen several of my videos now in the way that I do it, I'd be more than happy to give it a go. So let me know. You can write it in the comments, or you can get a hold of me on any of my social media platforms. That was 2 of 4. You know, I'm on Facebook, I have Instagram, I have TikTok, I have Pinterest, I do have X, but I'm not as active on it, but I do have it. And I am on the new Blue Sky thing. Is it called Blue Sky? It's got the butterfly logo. I'm on that. I'm not as super active on that either, but I do have it. Like, yeah, I'm on every social media. So there's an abundance of way to talk to me and get a hold of me. But only if you're interested in talking about jewelry. I'm not interested in anybody trying to help me promote my Etsy shop. Oy. Anyways, so that was 3 of 4. This is the final one. This video will be ending right after this. And that just shows you how you can do little square sections going back and forth, like doing it in opposite directions. You did one going right to left and then one left to right, and I kept track of them, one rotation around, you know, is how I kept track. So that was 4 rotations of 4. So yeah, and this is what it would look like if you wanted to do it this way. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know if I'm going to keep going on like this. I might for a few more rows, just because I'm still at the very beginning of this whole necklace. I still got a ways to go, and at some point I'll switch into the red and do something with that. Maybe I'll do some beads. I have these black hematite beads I was thinking about trying out. And so yeah, so I just wanted to show you guys this different way to do and start a tube and do some different elements that you can do. And that's gonna be all right. Stick around, come back. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, like, share. All right, bye.